Life isn't always fair. Sometimes, life deals you a shit hand. And sometimes, life takes a shit in your hands. For the case of the tortured souls that we're going to take a look at today, they were shit on something fierce. The ghost people. The wandering denizens of the Sierra Madre, prowling around the show after spending years learning from Andy Serkis. They are the most prominent enemy that you will encounter within Dead Money, and also one of the most genuinely creepy enemies within Fallout New Vegas. So what's the story? Why are they here? What horrors lie beneath the coil? How did they become these twisted golem-like creatures? Well, I'm about to tell you. So first of all, how did they become what they are? The skitters slink around inside these full-body hazmat suits, composed of a neck-down suit and a coil. The suit they wore is actually called the hazmat suit, of which one can be found in Big MT. The reason the suit was issued to the workers in the Sierra Madre was to provide them protection from physical harm via impact or chemicals. Unfortunately, the suits were only in their experimental phase. Now, the owner of the Sierra Madre, Sinclair, wasn't aware of this. The toxin corroded the clasps on the hazmat suits. It was so bad that they had to get people out by using a fucking cosmic knife and cutting the suit open. However, the Cloyd eventually engulfed all of the Sierra Madre, and the people within drowned in it. Now, since the ghost people are the only ones who can walk within the Cloyd unharmed, and since they're the people who were exposed to and trapped inside the suits, it goes without saying that the Cloyd is mostly, if not completely, to blame for their mutation into the creatures we see today. Due to all the protective gear, it seems that while they were trapped inside the suits, it may have filtered out enough of the chemicals that, instead of killing them, it turned them into immortal nukes. So what about their movements? They're quite docile and slow when not engaged, and have short bursts of speed with lunges and jumps, but none of it is ever a slow and gradual build-up, and none of the movement is fluid. This is once again due to the suits. The initial complaint about the suits is that they were bulky and stiff. This explains why slow movement is so jerky. They need to use extra force just to walk, meaning it will be a lot less smooth. Then, when they need to chase you, they need to move more quickly, but due to their lycra-tight suits, they need to leap, as running would either consume too much energy or, given their suits, cut off all circulation to their legs and kill them. Now, physiology. So you might have noticed that they get up when you put them down, repeatedly. The only way to make the bastards stay dead is to take a limb, and as soon as a limb is crippled, it will come off, which will instantly kill them, regardless of what their health was. This suggests their whole body is sort of one very big organ. This means that when you put them down, the time they spend on the ground is most likely their body either routing fluids/vital processes around the damaged areas, or regenerating the area they received trauma completely. So does that mean these pseudo-wolverines are unkillable by normal means? Well, that's unclear, but they obviously have their limits. The other explanation is the majority of their organs aren't present in their torso. Dog states they have pockets of pressurized gas inside them, which explains the spray of blood when they're shot. So this gas may be present in large quantities in their body's torso, and when they go down, they're either producing more or absorbing some from the air around them. So their organs and body are unique. As a result, they do not speak, that rhymed, and seem to not sleep or eat. The reason for the last two, by my guess anyway, is that they gain sustenance from the Cloyd, as the suits would prevent eating solid food. Their intelligence can also be called into question. They know how to fashion crude stabbing implements, rig bird traps, and use explosives. Due to this, they are by and away the most intelligent abomination that we have ever seen, bar a sane ghoul. Due to this, I believe that they can speak. It's mentioned that due to the suits, sign language was used to communicate as they muffled voices too much. I'm assuming then that they are aware that they would not be able to communicate by speech, and aren't smart enough to use sign language. The grunts and wheezes we hear might be a form of communication, but there's no way to know for sure. So what about sight and other senses? Well, you would assume that, given the coil and the low light visibility, and the nearly completely opaque red gas, these guys would see a spider shit a mile away. Well, no. In fact, their perception is almost zero, which is really weird when you consider a few things. The suit that we can get has built-in night vision, permanent night vision, which is very useful when you consider that it is almost perpetually twilight in the Sierra Madre. Also, using Cloyd residue, we can make ghost sight, which gives us night vision that is almost identical to what the suit gives us. So suit night vision, plus they're also mutated by the Cloyd, you would assume they would have fantastic vision. My only explanation for this is that the helmet they wear has shit the bed. Either the lenses are broken or become clogged up with crap over time. As a result, the ghost people rely on hearing alone. The reason the hearing isn't ultra sensitive is because there was no reason to adapt. They weren't under constant threat and didn't need to hunt prey. They would know the layout better than anyone coming into the Sierra Madre. They could use traps, and they would know most of the routes people would take. Only they can go into the Cloyd, and as a result, they would just have to patrol the areas where it wasn't present to find people. So they never really developed super heightened senses. Where do they live within the Sierra Madre? Do they have a den? Well, according to Dean Domino, they live in the underground surface routes of the Sierra Madre. Now, we never get a good look at the place, but it would make sense. Even if they can, even immortal zombies would get bored walking around all day. So what do they actually do in it? I'm going to convert people into ghost people for 500, please. It's mentioned that they drag people off into the Cloyd. This means they overpower. They never manage with us, so they just try to kill us instead. But if they don't eat people, the only option left is breeding. Well, when I say breeding, I mean locking them in a suit and booting them into the Cloyd. Perhaps there are certain parts where the Cloyd is very concentrated. The Cloyd was pumped into ventilation systems, so it would make sense that there are pipes of it underground. Perhaps they dragged their victims here and turned them into not so friendly ghosts. So there you have it, the somewhat accurate description and explanation of some of the sadder sods of the Mojave. Innocent workers trapped in shitty suits and exposed to a potent gas. Mutated by its effects, they now prowl the Sierra Madre, hoping to add more victims to their legion and literally making it a ghost town. I hope you liked this episode taking a look at the not so friendly golem-like ghosts of the Sierra Madre. If you did, why not leave a like? I love reading comments, so get them in there. Any suggestions for future content or videos you would like me to do are appreciated and welcome. If you want to help me grow, share this video on as many social media sites as you can, especially Reddit. Tell everyone. If you want to contact me regarding business, send me a private message here or on Twitter and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope to see you in my next episode. And until then, goodbye.